speaking of hockey, a recent report out of Boston Hockey Now on Big Z's future. Numerous sources had checked in with Boston Hockey Now this past week, saying that it appeared the Bruins and the future Hall of Famer were far apart on a potential new contract, and that Chara has had more than just feelers with more than 3 teams. When reached by email on Friday, Chara's agent, Matt Keeter, had this to say when asked about the rumors, quote, waiting on format for new season. No rush, end quote. Your reaction to that, and are you surprised that this is still kind of in flux between Boston and their captain right now?
Yeah, I think the number one thing for Matt Keeter and for Zdeno Chara and the Boston Bruins as well is to keep everything internal. I mean, the minute that you've got some loose lips or some certain teams are maybe saying that there's going to be some interest right there, it's not settling, and this man deserves more than that. He deserves to go out the way he wants to go out. For me, I'm a little surprised that there is even talk of other teams, but this is just negotiation for me. I mean, the best team for him on a 1-year deal, because we're going to base this on a 48-game season, maybe a 56-game season. The importance of having a left-hand shot on the team that he's playing for right now is the Boston Bruins for me. And I wouldn't say a long-term deal at all. He's been signing 1-year deals, but I think that this is the best scenario for him. There are probably some other teams that could use a left-handed defenseman that could use his leadership, and he's still one of the premier penalty killers. He's still a premier matchup guy. I don't know anybody that wants to go in that corner for 7 games and have to deal with he's got a 15-foot-long stick, and he's mean as a son of a gun, and he's hard to get around, and he blocks shots. So, and he's courageous. So I've got all the time in the world for Zdeno Chara. I think nobody wants to put the team in a bad spot. Nobody wants to put Chara in a bad spot as well. I will say this going forward, it is also important to think about the young defensemen and young players that have to grow as well. And when you've got a guy like Chara there, or you've got a Thornton in San Jose, or you've got these legends of the game, and they're in that locker room every day, it's hard for the other guys to grow. So I would say if he's going to return to Boston, that this would be the last year for him, and then he ends on his own terms and then goes forward. Hard to tell the legends to end on their own terms, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't like
and
that
they've
very
earned
much.
that right to determine when they get to walk away.
That's right.
This being said, if Chara decides to go to a different team, is the impact maybe bigger off the ice inside that Bruins dressing room as far as the leadership goes? It's
everywhere. Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, he's got such an influence about him. Yeah. He's so highly regarded. And he plays injured, so that's great for the younger players to see the way he deals with things. But when you look at, there's the Boston Bruins are without 2 big lefties if he's not there. Torrey Krug being in St. Louis, big part of that left-hand shot, big part of the locker room presence. Torrey Krug had a huge presence there alongside Zdeno Chara, so there'd be a hole there for the Boston Bruins on the left side, I think.
All right, we'll have to see. Reports out of Boston right now, not close with their captain, Zdeno Chara. We will stay tuned to that developing situation this on.